I, 28 male, guess I'm writing this because I need to get it off my chest and figure out if I handle things right. Been with Marlene, 26, for almost 3 years, living together for the last year and a half. Everything seemed solid, or so I thought. Last Friday night, she texted me around 7 p.m. saying she was heading to her mom's place because her mom, Dottie, 52, wasn't feeling well. Nothing unusual there. Marlene's super close with her mom and visits her at least twice a week. I was planning a chill gaming night with the boys anyway, so I just sent back, hope she feels better. Love you. Here's where it gets interesting. About an hour later, I'm setting up my console when I notice Marlene's iPad on the coffee table. She'd left it behind, which was weird because she usually takes it everywhere. The Find My app was still open from when she'd used it earlier to locate her AirPods. And right there on the screen, I could see her Apple Watch location. The Meridian Hotel downtown, not her mom's house in the suburbs. My first thought was maybe she stopped somewhere on the way. But when I checked again 30 minutes later, still at the hotel. Specifically, at their rooftop bar, you could tell from the floor indicator on the detailed view. Now, I could have called her right then. Could have driven down there. But something made me pause. If she was lying about being at her mom's, there was a reason, and I wanted to know what that reason was before I showed my hand. So instead, I took a screenshot of the location, circled the hotel bar, and sent it to Dottie with a message. Looks like she missed your exit, winky face. Hope you're feeling better. The response was immediate. 3 missed calls from Dottie in the span of 2 minutes. When I finally picked up, she was confused as hell. What do you mean? I'm not sick. I haven't talked to Marlene since Tuesday. I explained the situation. Dottie went from confused to pissed. Like scary pissed. She said she'd handle it and hung up. 20 minutes later, my phone exploded. Marlene calling, texting, calling again. I let it all go to voicemail. The text started friendly-ish. Hey babe, mom's feeling better. Heading home soon. Then concerned. Why aren't you answering? Is everything okay? Then frantic. Ethan, please pick up. This isn't what it looks like. I can explain everything. Please answer your phone. I turned off my phone and continued gaming. When I turned it back on around midnight, I had 37 missed calls, 52 texts, and 8 voicemails. The last voicemail was her crying, saying she was outside our apartment door, and I needed to let her in because she forgot her keys. I looked out the peephole. Yep, there she was. Makeup smeared, dress way too nice for taking care of a sick mother. I opened the door, said, your stuff will be in boxes by Monday, and closed it in her face. The pounding and yelling that followed probably woke up half the building, but I just put on my noise-canceling headphones and went to bed in the guest room. Saturday morning update coming soon. It gets worse. Update 1. Woke up Saturday to find Marlene had slept against our apartment door. The building manager was there when I opened it, and she literally fell backwards into the apartment. Carl, the building manager, looked embarrassed and said several neighbors complained about the noise. I apologized, helped Marlene to her feet, and told her she had 1 hour to pack essentials. That's when the entitlement started. She actually had the audacity to be mad at me. You humiliated me, she screamed. My mom called me 47 times. She showed up at the hotel. Do you know how embarrassing that was? I just stared at her. You lied about where you were. I wasn't doing anything wrong. I was just getting drinks with friends. Which friends? Silence. Male or female friends? More silence. And why lie about it if it was innocent? That's when she switched tactics. Went from angry to victim in 0.2 seconds. Tears, sobbing, the whole performance. Talking about how I'm too controlling, how she needs space, how she can't even have a night out without me questioning her. I pulled out my phone and showed her our text history. In 3 years, I'd never once told her she couldn't go out. Never checked up on her. Never even asked for details unless she volunteered them. The only reason I knew where she was this time was pure accident. But you sent my mother after me, she wailed. No, I sent your mother a screenshot showing you weren't where you said you'd be. What happened after that was between you two. She tried to storm into our bedroom, but I'd already changed the locks on that door. Interior lock, easy swap, did it at 6 a.m. Her stuff was in boxes in the living room. Just essentials, clothes, toiletries, medications. I told her she could coordinate getting the rest through a third party. The nuclear meltdown that followed was something to behold. She called me every name in the book, said I'd regret this, that I was overreacting, that I was ruining the best thing that ever happened to me. Then came the kicker. You can't just kick me out. I live here. I have rights. She was right about one thing. She had been living there long enough to establish residency. But here's what she didn't know. The lease was up for renewal in exactly 11 days. And only my name was on it. You're right, I said calmly, which is why I'm giving you 30 days notice that I won't be renewing the lease with you on it. Here's your formal notice. I handed her the document I'd printed that morning. The look on her face was priceless. She grabbed her boxes and left, but not before delivering one final threat. Tanner's going to hear about this. Tanner, 31, is her older brother. Ex-Marine, personal trainer, thinks the sun rises and sets on his baby sister. I've been expecting this card to be played. Cool, I said. Tell him I'll be at the gym Monday at 6 a.m. like always. She slammed the door so hard a picture fell off the wall. But the story doesn't end there. Because Saturday afternoon, I got a call from an unexpected source, the bartender from the Meridian Hotel. Update 2. Saturday afternoon, I was deep cleaning the apartment. Amazing how therapeutic throwing away someone's forgotten hair ties can be when my phone rang. Unknown local number. Hello. Hey, is this Ethan? Marlene's boyfriend. Ex-boyfriend. Who's this? My name's Jerome. I'm a bartender at the Meridian. Look, I probably shouldn't be calling, but my conscience is killing me. My stomach dropped. What's going on? Your ex was here last night with some dude. They were all over each other until this older lady showed up and caused a scene. Security had to escort them all out. But here's the thing, this wasn't the first time. What do you mean? I mean, she's been coming in every Friday for the past 2 months. Always with the same guy. Always paying cash. Always left together around 11. I remember because she tips like crap and acts entitled as hell to my staff. I thanked Jerome and hung up. 2 months. Every Friday. All those times she was at her mom's, or out with the girls, or working late. But wait, it gets better. Sunday morning, I woke up to a text from Dottie. Can we talk? I have information you need to know. We met for coffee. Dottie looked exhausted and pissed in equal measure. She slid a folder across the table. I did some digging after Friday night, she said. The man she was with? That's Garrett Walsh. He's her boss's son. I nearly choked on my coffee. Marlene worked as a marketing coordinator at a mid-size firm. Her boss, Patricia Walsh, was known for being a hard ass who didn't tolerate BS. Her son Garrett was 34, married with 2 kids, and worked in the family business. There's more, Dottie continued. I called Patricia yesterday. Professional courtesy, mother to mother. Turns out, money's been going missing from the marketing budget. Small amounts, but consistent. Patricia's been trying to figure out who's responsible. You think Marlene? I don't think. I know. Garrett's been approving fraudulent expense reports. Fancy dinners claimed as client meetings. Hotel charges for conference rooms. Patricia's gathering evidence for a formal investigation. I sat back, stunned. Not only was Marlene cheating, she was doing it on her company's dime. Why are you telling me this? I asked. Dottie's face hardened. Because she's my daughter and I love her, but I didn't raise a liar and a thief. She made her bed. Now she gets to lie in it. Also, she pulled out her phone. She's been telling people you were abusive and controlling, that you were the reason she had to sneak around. I'm not letting her drag your name through the mud. She showed me Marlene's Instagram story. A black screen with white text. Sometimes you don't realize you're in a toxic relationship until you try to breathe. Starting fresh. Broken heart. The comments were full of support from her friends. You deserve better. He never appreciated you. Controlling men are the worst. I laughed. Actually laughed. She's really going all in on this narrative, huh? Oh, honey, Dottie said, patting my hand. She has no idea what all in means yet. Monday came around, and sure enough, Tanner was waiting at my gym. But not alone. He brought 2 of his buddies, all in matching tough guy workout gear. I walked right past them to the front desk. Hey, Marcus, I said to the manager. Those three guys are here to intimidate me over a personal matter. Can you ask them to leave? Marcus, bless him, didn't even blink. Absolutely. The look on Tanner's face when security approached was chef's kiss. He tried to argue, saying he was a member, but Marcus pulled up his account. Actually, your membership was revoked 6 months ago for aggressive behavior towards staff. You're trespassing. Turns out, Tanner had been banned for roid raging at a trainer. Marlene had been using her key fob to let him in anyway. Another policy violation to add to the list. They left, but not before Tanner shouted, "This isn't over." It was, in fact, about to be very over. Update 3. By Tuesday, Marlene's world was collapsing faster than a house of cards in a hurricane. Patricia Walsh had moved forward with the investigation. Turned out Marlene and Garrett had stolen close to $8,000 over 2 months through fake expense reports. Not enough to live lavishly, but enough to fund their Friday night hotel adventures and weekend trips I thought were girls' weekends. I know this because Patricia called me personally. Why? Because some of those expense reports listed me as a client they were entertaining. My LinkedIn, my supposed company connections, my name forged on dinner receipts. I need you to confirm you've never had any business dealings with our firm, Patricia said, her voice ice cold. Never. I work in software development. We have no overlap. Would you be willing to sign an affidavit to that effect? Send it over. Wednesday morning, Marlene was fired. Garrett was fired. Patricia filed charges for embezzlement and fraud. But here's where Marlene's entitlement reached new heights. She actually showed up at my office. Security called up to warn me. I told them to let her wait in the lobby, but not allow her upstairs. I watched on the security feed from my desk as she sat there, designer bag, probably bought with stolen money, clutched in her lap, checking her phone every 2 minutes. After an hour, I went down. Marlene. She jumped up, started toward me with arms outstretched like we were in some rom-com. I stepped back. "How could you do this to me?" she hissed. "Do what?" "Tell the truth when asked." "You got me fired. I'm being charged with crimes." "You got yourself fired. You committed crimes." "It was just." Garrett said it was fine. "Everyone does it. You don't understand how corporate culture works." "I understand theft." "So does the district attorney." She actually stomped her foot. "Like a toddler. You're ruining my life over a few dinners. You ruined your own life. I just declined to lie for you." Then came the manipulation masterclass. She cycled through. "Tears. I loved you. How can you be so cold?" "Bargaining. If you tell them we were together at those dinners, this all goes away." "Threats. I'll tell everyone you abused me." "Guilt. 3 years meant nothing to you?" More tears. "I have nowhere to go." That last one was a lie. Dottie had confirmed Marlene was staying with her, but had worn out her welcome in record time by. Expecting Dottie to call in sick to drive her around. Her car was repossessed. Turns out she'd been missing payments. Demanding money for a lawyer. Trying to get Dottie to lie about witnessing business dinners. Leaving disaster zones everywhere and expecting maid service. Bringing Garrett over while Dottie was at work. He was also freshly divorced by this point. Security eventually escorted Marlene out when she refused to leave. She made enough of a scene that building management banned her from the premises. But the peak entitlement came Thursday night. I was at home, finally enjoying some peace, when I got a call from my landlord. Marlene had contacted him claiming to be my wife, saying I was having a mental breakdown and she needed emergency access to their apartment for my safety. Fortunately, my landlord knew I was single on the lease and called me instead of letting her in. She was very convincing, he said. Even had a fake concern in her voice. Said you were off your medications and she was worried you might hurt yourself. I sent him screenshots of her text threatening to make me pay and destroy my life. He said he'd handle it if she showed up again. She did. At 2 a.m. With Garrett and a locksmith, she'd convinced that she was locked out of her apartment. The locksmith noped out when he saw the police my landlord had called. Marlene was arrested for attempted breaking and entering. Garrett was arrested for violating the restraining order his ex-wife had against him. Apparently she'd followed him to my building. I found out about all this Friday morning when Dottie called me. She used her one phone call to call me, Dottie said, sounding exhausted. not to apologize, not to ask for bail, to scream at me for not bailing her out fast enough last time and demand I put my house up as collateral for her bail. What did you say? I said she could sit there and think about her choices. Then I hung up and blocked the jail's number. The entitlement didn't stop there. Over the next week, she had Garrett's ex-wife contact me to compare notes and suggest we sue them together. I declined but wished her well. She tried to claim I owed her half the security deposit on the apartment. Judge laughed that out of court. She posted a GoFundMe claiming she was a victim of workplace harassment and needed legal fees. It raised $45, all from Garrett. She had various flying monkeys contact me with sob stories about how she was suicidal/homeless/ starving. She was living with an aunt and working at said aunt salon. Final update. It's been 3 months since that Friday night when I sent a screenshot to Dottie. Here's where everyone ended up. Marlene pled guilty to reduced charges of misuse of company funds. Got 18 months probation, 200 hours community service, and has to pay restitution. She's working at her aunt's salon, living in a studio apartment, and last I heard from Dottie was dating another married man she met at court-ordered therapy. Some people never learn. Garrett lost his job, his wife, split custody of his kids, and is paying alimony. Also on probation. Started a business consulting firm that's just him trying to MLM his way out of debt. Tanner got arrested 2 weeks after the gym incident for assault at a bar. Marlene couldn't bail him out this time. He's serving 90 days. Dottie, thriving. Cut Marlene off completely after she tried to steal Dottie's credit card for lawyer fees. Joined a book club, started dating a nice man from her church, and sends me Christmas cards. Me, I'm good. Renewed the lease, got a promotion at work. Turns out having a crazy ex makes your boss very sympathetic to needing time off for court, and started dating a woman from my climbing gym who thinks this whole story is wild. My only regret is not seeing the red flags sooner, but hey, lesson learned. The Meridian Hotel. Jerome the bartender hit me up last month. Apparently, they now have a photo of Marlene and Garrett behind the bar as band customers. He said the staff calls it the Wall of Shame, and my ex has the honor of being couple number 3. Looking back, that split-second decision to send a screenshot instead of confronting her directly was the best choice I could have made. It let her entitlement fully reveal itself without me getting drawn into the drama. Sometimes the best revenge isn't elaborate. It's just stepping back and letting people face the consequences of their own actions. To everyone who's been cheated on, you deserve better. Don't let them gaslight you into thinking their betrayal is your fault. And always, always trust your gut. Peace out. Edit. Since a lot of people asked, yes, this is real. No, I'm not taking her back. And yes, Dottie is basically my adopted mom now. She makes killer lasagna.